Today we've got the Maiden flight on the FMS Rafale 80mm. Let's take a look at some of the plane and also the equipment we're using for today's flight. You'll notice really wild paint scheme on this bird. It's got the tiger print with the yellow on the top and the bluish purple on the bottom, so it should be very easy to see in the air. Does have a little bit brighter lights than some of the planes I've seen in the 80mm class. You've got the navigation lights on the front that are solid. You've got a landing light on this side, and then you've got the flash and navigation on the wingtip rails. You'll notice those are at top and bottom, so that'll help good when it's banked, and then these will be better for level flight. This also has the upgraded nozzles. These are the RC Geek nozzles. It's supposed to give you better thrust and keep it from making the howling kind of, resonating noise when you get on the throttle. So we'll see how those feel today. Let's take a look at the equipment in the plane. We've got a SMC 6S5300 LIHV, a AR6610T tucked back in there. We're using the factory Reflex V2 gyro, and we've got a satellite remote receiver on the front. So the serial remote receiver will be up front with 2 antennas, and then we got 2 antennas in the back for the AR6610T. Looks like it's got a fairly narrow landing gear, so we'll probably dial down the rudder rate just a little bit more than usual. And then you notice it's got a good suspension. I like how when the gears are down, it's got the doors coming up, so it's got a clean look with the main gears when they're down. And you'll notice that it's got a little bit shinier coat than normal. We put the polyacrylic Minwax coating on this one, so it should give it a little bit more pop on the color in the sun. So we've talked about the features and the equipment of the FMS Rafale 80mm. Let's get it up in the air.
Aileron, put the gear up. Feels good. We don't have much. Let's see. See that wind's got it wiggling with that Reflex gyro. Clicks up trim. Couple of clicks to right. Well, that that's actually more trim than I thought. I've got that battery far back as it'll go, and you can tell it's fairly nose heavy, but now it's flying pretty good. So maybe just battery could definitely come back soon. That was really good. Control feels pretty good. Maybe I don't come back as far as I probably initially thought, but TV feels pretty good. I'm on low elevator, medium aileron. Feels pretty good as far as sensitivity right there. Got a lot of lift on this plane, so you really slow it down.
That's what I like about that one. It's got the checkerboard.
Totally knows that. Feels really good. You can definitely see a lot of wing rock with that factory Reflex V2 gyro. It sounds really clean with some nozzles on there from RC Geek. They did a great job designing those.
Should slow down pretty well for mine.
Yeah, I didn't even try the flaps yet, but not use them. Everybody says not to use them, but boy, that yellow paint scheme when you turn the thing sideways, you see right there, it's got quite a bit of wing rock.
Yeah.
That factory gyro. So let's power off. I'm gonna let it sink down a little bit. It's got a double landing light on the nose. Show up pretty close. Got a lot of authority because both those passes weren't too fast, but also being on low elevator, we had plenty of authority. So I'm gonna slow it down, get it into the wind here. Sure. bearing or something on the wheel. This thing really rolls, but it's easy. We'll turn it around. I did lower down the rudder rate a fair amount on this plane, so that nose gear seems fairly narrow, and also the main landing gear seems pretty close together. But pretty good little maiden, some high alpha passes, and then clean touchdown. So we'll take it back to the bench for the post-flight results.
Maiden flight completed on the FMS Rafale 80mm. Let's talk about some of the flight characteristics and what I noticed during the maiden flight. Taking off, I had the rudder rate toned down, so it was very controllable going down the runway with the narrow landing gear. Took out, gave it just a little bit of elevator, didn't use a bunch of throw, and had a good amount of speed. You notice it didn't jump off the runway. It had a smooth climb out. Took a little bit of trim. We put 8 clicks of up and we took 20 clicks of right, so it took a fair amount of right. However, you notice they're still pretty flush, so sometimes it doesn't take a lot of movement to correct it as far as visually, but it takes a few more clicks on the transmitter. Flying it around, we've got a fair amount of wind today. I noticed when I banked it through the turns that with the Reflex drive row, it wanted to kind of walk the wings, you know, it wanted to wiggle a little bit through the air, and with the oscillation happening, it made it feel, you know, a little bit more that I need to be on the controls coming through the turn. However, when I was straight and level, the gyro, especially in the high alpha, it felt fairly locked in. So maybe need a little tweak in there if I decide to go ahead and put a Spectrum or a different brand of receiver with a gyro that I can actually, you know, go through and tune. The Reflex V2, you can't actually tune those. We were on a 3.5 minute timer. We had 1 minute and 15 seconds left. So we went 2 minutes and 15 seconds on the throttle. Let's see what we got left. .95 to 398 across the board, so 70%. Doesn't surprise me. Quick flight just to get it trimmed out, see how it felt, and then, you know, make a few passes. I always want to allow enough time for a couple of go-arounds, especially with this one. I've seen these planes have a long rollout depending on how you come in. However, I've also seen when you high alpha them, plop on the runway. Brought it in, first one we took, sat it right down with a smooth landing. So I'll take that on the Maiden all the time, even a short flight. My controls, I went on medium elevator and low aileron, and both of those felt good. I actually probably have it toned down more than what's in the book, so, but it made the plane fly really docile, felt really good, and controllable on the maiden flight. So go ahead and give us a thumbs up to support the channel and the video. If you're not following along, go ahead and subscribe, especially to see future flight reviews and flight reviews on the Rafale 80mm, and we'll see you on the next one.